So I have a question. Do you remember what you were doing on June 29th? How about June 29th of 2003? That was a Sunday. If you were here this morning, we had a guest preacher by the name of Jamie Schultz. After the service, the congregation met and received a report from the pastor nominating committee recommending terms of call, salary and vacation and benefits, to extend a call to Jamie effective August 15th of that year. Jamie started as our pastor 20 years ago last month. If you're wondering why we didn't celebrate it then, I would remind you that Jamie was in the middle of a well-earned 3-week vacation at the time, so we could have celebrated without her, but that'd be kind of pointless. And if you ask some people, Jamie was installed by the presbytery on the afternoon of September 28th, and some people count that as the official date. So I think we're in the neighborhood. So, Jamie, we do pay attention when you talk in church, and we know you like to know what's going on. So if you're feeling a little nervous right now, may I recommend some self-compassion? Put your hand on your heart. And say, there. I couldn't help myself. So, Bryn Mawr's seen a lot in the last 20 years that Jamie's been here. And yes, a lot of that is due to the efforts of this congregation, but without, steady leadership, a lot of this wouldn't have happened. And as I'm reflecting on those 20 years, I was clerk of session for a while in the early 2000s, and my time spanned the end of the previous pastor's time through an interim period and the first about 2.5 years of Jamie's time here. And you may not appreciate what happened then, but to me seemed very pivotal in setting us up for success for the next 20 years. In 2000, we had 12 members on the session, which is way too big for a church like this. And nothing got done until the session met, and then the session as a committee of the whole basically did all the work for the whole church for the month, which is not a very efficient way of doing things. And I don't remember if we started this transition during the interim or after Jamie got here, but we pared the session down to the 6 members that it is today, which is much more appropriate for a church this size, but also empowered all of the various committees to do the stuff they were supposed to do. And committees can take care of their responsibilities, and then when it gets to session, they can just say, here's what we did. And if there's something the session needs to do, they can take care of it then, but they don't have to do all the work of all the church. Everybody gets a chance to participate in the areas that are meaningful to them. So I think that did a lot to set us up for success. But if you think back over those 20 years, we've strengthened and continued and begun our relationships with St. Anne's Place, Ascension Place, and gotten involved in the Every Child program. We participate in national offerings through One Great Hour of Sharing. We do our fun auction and pick an organization every year to receive the local peacemaking money, and so we get a chance to make a difference there. Of course, we saw a big push towards accessibility, which culminated in adding meeting rooms on the east of our building and an elevator, reconfiguring our space for hospitality, and then a few years later, reconfiguring the layout here of the sanctuary. We survived the pandemic. We made it work. We were kind of making it up as we went along like the rest of the world, but I think we came out all right. that got us, as we were moving back into the sanctuary, to put together a technology plan. Now we have former members, family members, people on travel, people who just didn't get their coffee early enough on Sunday morning, joining us on Zoom, and it gives us the ability to record the services and share them later. Those 20 years, you've baptized a whole generation of kids. There have been marriages, there have been some funerals. We've come together for all of those as a congregation. In terms of our building, we've hosted AA and NA groups and the Neighborhood Association for their meetings. Mason Memorial Church, while that was still a going concern, and striking Minneapolis school teachers. This has been a haven, a refuge during times of trouble. After the accent signage shooting, after the death of George Floyd and other crisis points in our community, we've opened our doors for the community here. And you've taught us about nonviolent communication and self-compassion. What you may not also know is that Jamie has been very active in the life of the presbytery. A lot of us don't interact with the presbytery, but it's the geographic grouping in this area of Presbyterian churches. Technically, Jamie is not a member of this church. Her membership's with the presbytery. She has served for a number of years on the Committee on Ministry. And for those who aren't familiar with it, Committee on Ministry is kind of the membership oversight of minister members of the presbytery. And if you're on the Committee on Ministry and there's a problem you have to deal with, it's usually a pretty gnarly problem. So it takes a hardy soul to serve on the Committee on Ministry, and Jamie chaired that group as well. Jamie is currently the vice moderator of the presbytery and will be elevated to moderator in a presbytery meeting here on November 11th that you're all invited to in the morning, and will be on Zoom if you want to participate this way. I'm sure there are things I'm leaving out. I encourage you to share them with Jamie afterwards. We have a cake that's come out of hiding to celebrate this. This is not the cake. And as we were thinking of how we wanted to express our appreciation to you for 20 years of grateful service, we thought, what would be meaningful? A meaningful expression, and what would give you joy? So Jamie, if you would come up. This is a card. This is not the gift. This is the gift.
Thank you. This explains a few things, I guess. Why people from my family are here that aren't usually here, and why there's coffee hour when I thought there was no coffee hour. I guess why the Cedar Lake 7 is singing and didn't tell me, and I was mad about it. I've been mad about a lot of things lately. So good job. Good job reminding me to keep myself together for a surprise and for something unexpected. And as I listen to you say all those things, Chaz, I mean, it really has been such a partnership, and so I'm grateful to have been a part of it. I mean, I think part of the success of all of this is that somehow you helped me figure out how to go along with the flow of things in this place, and we've stayed in relationship with each other when things have been hard and when things have been good. and we've learned together and grown together, and I'm really profoundly grateful for that. So, hey, thanks for coming to church today. And thanks for the trophy, my second one in 1 year. That's awesome. Thank you. And thank you for your kind words, Chess. Thank you.